Good afternoon, and welcome to an actual place that has no ceiling. That's where you're supposed to applaud, because I know you haven't been in a place where you can actually do that. And for those of you who are joining us virtually, you should know that we have people that are around me, that are distanced, that are safe, that are masked up. I have my mask in my pocket just to make sure everyone is aware. And my name is Andrew Hone, and I am the president and CEO of the world's greatest chamber of commerce, the Portland Business Alliance. Let's give it up to the entire crew of the Portland Business Alliance that put this event together tonight. Here's to you, team. And I am excited to be here at Providence Park, one of the most beautiful establishments here in the Rose City, and again, a place that actually, and fittingly so, has no ceiling. And we're here to celebrate the incredible women and organizations that make up our great region. And I was just reflecting a little bit beforehand with one of our honorees. This has been a hard year for everybody. It's been a hard year, and it feels good to recognize good work and good deeds and to give each other a virtual hug. That's really what we're here to do tonight, and to honor and recognize people that work hard and do right in this community. So this feels good to be doing this in such a hard year, and we wish everyone well. So we want to thank all of you for joining us in this new virtual, quasi-virtual event setting. For those of you joining us via Zoom, we hope you enjoy connecting with some new folks during the networking session. I know it's like, how do you connect with people virtually is always a new adventure. So thanks for participating. And to Carrie Trujillo, thank you for moderating our amazing networking event from Markowitz Herbal. And to all those joining us for this live stream, we're grateful you're participating and for all the work you do. A small group of us, like I said, are gathered here today. Several hundreds online to celebrate the folks in our community that make a difference. And while it's not how we traditionally connect, we are grateful to all those who helped make today's celebration possible. And there is a dedicated group of committee members who work to establish our honorees, and they deserve our recognition and gratitude. I want to read out their names now. Jessica Getman, Carrie Trujillo, Angela DeVita, Christina Carl, Kara Stoudemire-Phillips, Pam White, Yumi O'Neill, Lisa Kramer, Georgia Fields, Ashley Trimble, and Tracy Morgan. Let's give them all a big round of applause. And I'd like to thank our sponsors for their support. Without the support of our sponsors, this event would not be possible, and the work of the organization would not be possible. So thank you for tonight, and thank you for continuing to support the Portland Business Alliance. I'd like to start with our presenting sponsor, Moda Health. Thank you, Moda. To our patron sponsor and our host, and to our estimable chair, Mike Golub, who represents the Portland Timbers and Thorns, thank you. And to the Portland Clinic and Wells Fargo, and I just have to say and take a moment, the Portland Clinic has the most talented physician that I know. My wife, Karina Hone, is a physician there, so if you need a referral, please make sure to see me afterwards. Let's give it up to the Portland Clinic and Wells Fargo. Our event sponsors, Brown & Brown Northwest, Columbia Sportswear, Confluence Wealth Management, Greater Portland Inc., Lincoln Property Company, and Markowitz Herbal PC. And finally, our airline sponsor, Alaska Airline. Let's show them some love. In this virtual setting, we encourage you to connect and celebrate with us. Tag us tonight. And this one, I was dying laughing when I read this, because who would have thought you would hashtag the word no ceiling? But that is what our hashtag is tonight. It's hashtag no ceiling, which I find very entertaining, and hashtag wearepdxbiz. So learn it, do it. If it doesn't happen on social media, it doesn't happen apparently. So help us celebrate all of the women leaders in our community and wish them well this evening. And now I'd like to welcome up our very own board chair, Mike Golub, president of business with the Portland Timbers and Thorns and board chair of the Portland Business Alliance. Give Mike a big warm welcome.
Thank you, Andrew, and welcome to Providence Park. Thank you all for joining us. We at the Timbers and Thorns are so honored to host this terrific event and celebrate these amazing glass ceiling breakers. And as many of you know, Providence Park is the home to the Portland Thorns, leaders in glass ceiling breakers in their own right. And tonight we are very fortunate to be joined by one of my favorite Thorns players and one of my favorite Thorns people for all that she does on and off the field, Emily Menges. And before I bring Emily up to say a few words, let me give you a little background on Emily. She joined the Thorns in 2014 after graduating from Georgetown University. And her 7 seasons as a member of the Thorns team, she has been a centerpiece of all of our success, including our 2017 championship team, our 2016 league-winning team. In 2016, she was named League Best 11, basically an all-star. In 2018, she was named the Portland Thorns Community MVP. She serves as treasurer of the NWSL Players Association, and she's the vice president of the I'm Not Done Yet Foundation. It's a nonprofit that supports young adults with cancer that she and her family founded in honor of her late brother. So, thank you. So she's really an amazing person, and please help me welcome Emily Menges.
Mike? Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me as your guest. It's an honor to be surrounded by so many incredible women. So during my preparation for the event tonight, I read through Kay's work, who I just met, and the mission of the Living Room Realty team, and I'm continually inspired by the vast amount of women who are doing incredible work in our city and our world. So I read a quote by Kay, who said, "All that we do is on behalf of the children." And it hit me that those words ring very true in terms of the sacrifice and the mindset of women's athletes everywhere, including current women's soccer players. So as a leader in my industry, we are continually trying to break boundaries and push the limits of equality. We don't have the luxury that some men's leagues do to sit back and not fight for what's right and what we deserve. So every player plays a role in our cause because we need every player. As players, we started our own union. We are now starting negotiations for the first CBA in our league's history. These things we are very proud of. Thank you. And these things were started, researched, run, and executed by the current players. We are the trailblazers in our sport, which is exciting and fun, but to go back to Kay's quote, it comes with the understanding that the current players are not likely to reap the rewards of our hard work. The work we do now is for the children and the young soccer players who come and watch us play, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. The women before me and my teammates hit the ground running. They made massive strides in our sport, fighting for and earning not just their rights, but the respect. We picked up where they left off, enjoying the perks they won for us while fighting for what we still don't have. I'm lucky to play for a club whose ideals match my own, because that is not the case everywhere. Merritt, our owner, and Gavin, our GM, Mike, and the whole club are leaders in the league, pushing the ceiling of women's soccer higher and higher. We have amazing fans in Portland, as you all know. All sorts of people from every background imaginable, but my favorite fans are the little girls. I still have a soccer ball signed by Mia Hamm up in my childhood bedroom. I know how far a smile and an autograph can go for young soccer players because of what it meant to me and still does mean to me since it's still on the shelf in my bedroom. I love to think that those little girls watching us play each weekend will have the luxuries and rights that my teammates and I fought for, and then they'll pick up right where we left off. Now that's just my industry, and thank you to all of you for all the work that you do in your industries. And again, sorry Kay for stealing all of your lines, but the work is worth it and the children deserve our best. Thank you.
Well, that's pretty cool. It's nice to have Emily here. Let's give her a round of applause for keeping the net safe. We appreciate that. It's pretty cool to have a soccer player with us. So thank you for joining us. And thank you for helping Mike to remember his mask. Always important. So appreciate the remarks. And I'm going to bring up, right before I bring up our sponsor, I just want to say a couple words about our remarkable honorees tonight. Kay Turan has been serving our community for a very long time and represents an organization, Volunteers of America, that has deep roots in this nation and has been doing a lot of good for the most vulnerable among us. And I had the pleasure of meeting her, and I would say that it is of note that she was referred by the individual whose name adorns this award, who is Sandra McDonough, who led our organization for 14 years. And I think it's noteworthy of the recognition, and also as someone who used to be employed by Volunteers of America, Greater New York, was the largest homeless provider in the city. The work of VOA is just profound. So to you and your team, thank you. And to Living Room Realty and to the entire crew here who has really redefined real estate in a way that just warms our heart, number one, and puts business and community together in a way that we all want to recognize. And Janelle is just a remarkable leader, and I think we're grateful to have all of you with us tonight. And I know that Kara Stoudemire-Phillips, the Director of Corporate Social Philanthropy at Moda Health, will do a far greater job of recognition than I, but she is a wonderful partner. And Jim Francisconi, who's a board member with Moda Health, is with us as well. And they really do care for our community. So thank you to Moda. Thank you, Jim. And Karis, the stage is yours.
Okay, I'm tall, so we'll move these a little. Thank you, Andrew. As he said, my name is Kara Stoudemire-Phillips, and I'm the Director of Corporate Social Responsibility at Moda Health. 2020 has been quite a year, and we still have over 2 months to go, and we have no idea what 2021 will bring. I know that many of us have asked ourselves, what could possibly happen next? We all started this year with excitement and anticipation. It was supposed to be the year of 2020 vision, right? Well, that excitement quickly dissipated as we met our reality and faced multiple pandemics. COVID-19, death and despair, tremendous and unceasing racial injustice, and natural disasters from coast to coast. Yes, it has been overwhelming, and at times, if we are honest, we have each been completely consumed, wondering what to do, how to respond, how to make it through. And the truth is, each of us has found our way to cope, to do just that, make it through. We have indeed used our 2020 vision. We have used it to look inward. Many of us have had the opportunity to reflect on who and what is important to us, and we have gravitated towards those people, those causes, those activities, and quite simply, those things, the aspects of our lives that make us happy, and beyond that, what brings us joy. At Moda, as a company, we have delved inward to reflect on what is important to us, what our identity and DNA truly mean and embody. And what we have not discovered, but rather reaffirmed, is that people matter to us. Our people, our employees, our customers and clients, our members, our partners, the community. We have chosen to listen and learn and make decisions that will affect our people. From understanding the importance of Black Lives Matter, being supportive and encouraging of all employees representing communities of color, to our Employee Assistance Fund, to the health and wellness of all of our employees and members, to broadening the range of what our insurance plans cover, to extending premium payment deadlines, to financially supporting our nonprofit partners across the state as they work hard to fill the gaps in our society. Moda has been a community ally. A Place with No Ceiling taking place today and during this time of so much unrest is perfect, symbolic, and plainly stated, poetic. It should have made every woman in this country proud last night to see Senator Kamala Harris on the biggest stage in our country, standing firmly as a vice presidential nominee for the most important position in the United States of America. Regardless of political affiliation, no one can deny that this woman, this Black woman, has broken through the glass ceiling. As I watched her last night, and really every time I see her, I cannot help but to think about all of the little girls out there, especially the little brown and Black girls who see her and they know, yes, I too can be the next Kamala Harris. Today we celebrate and we honor Portland women who too have broken through the glass ceiling, ascending in business, achieving great personal success, and also paving the way for other women to come behind them, encouraging them to reach even greater heights. I must take this opportunity to congratulate honoree Kay Turan. I have admired Kay's leadership, style, grace, eloquence, and fortitude since first encountering her as a young girl. You, Kay, have created a place with no ceiling. And you have broken through, creating a pathway for other women like me to follow. From my heart and lips to your ears, I thank you. Congratulations to you and all of today's honorees. To the many mentors and women who have broken the glass ceiling, I say thank you. And before I leave the podium today, I must echo the words of our forever First Lady, Michelle Obama. Vote. Vote like your life depends on it. I now would like to welcome Jessica Getman to the stage. Jessica is the president of Brown & Brown Northwest Insurance. She is the chair of the Place with No Ceiling Committee and the treasurer of the Portland Business Alliance Board of Directors. Jessica.
All right. Thank you, Karis, and good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Getman, and I'm chair of the Place with No Ceiling Committee. And for nearly a decade now, this event has celebrated, connected, and inspired women in the business community, honoring an individual and organizations for their support, mentorship, and advancement of women in our region. 2020 has offered us an incredibly historic year of change and challenge. And tonight's celebration is a bright light of hope that we can all make a difference. It starts with the incredible resiliency and determination modeled by community leaders like the ones that we're honoring tonight. These honorees are nominated by community members. Their work to foster advancement of women in the workplace. They're selected based on their leadership, their mentorship, and their community engagement and reputation. Thanks to the incredible honorees, I'm confident that the next generation will have more opportunities because of the examples set by all of you and the work done by all of you. So now on to our awards. Tonight, we are proud to honor Living Room Realty with the Glass Ceiling Breaker Award for 2020. Living Room Realty was founded 12 years ago by the dynamic Janelle Isaacson. The full-time service real estate brokerage and property management firm with a focus in Portland, Vancouver, and the North Coast has an unwavering commitment to its company's values and mission to develop vibrant communities. They are a certified B Corp and value using business as a force of good, donating 5% of profits to local charities. The team has been a trailblazer in its industry and community-focusing efforts on raising awareness on social and environmental concerns. As a woman-owned business, Living Room Realty continues to support women achieving leadership roles. They actively promote the advancement of women through educational opportunities and internal internships and through internal mentorship. Diversity, equity, inclusion is a top priority within their organization as well. On behalf of the entire committee, we extend our congratulations to the entire Living Room Realty team as the 2020 Glass Ceiling Breaker. So here to accept the award is Janelle Isaacson. Woohoo!
Well, thank you very much for that really generous introduction. And I'm really humbled to know that I am sharing a stage today with Kay Toran, and you are a hero for so many Oregonians and women like myself, and congratulations, and thank you so much for everything you do. I'm also really proud to be here with my incredible team, Ash Jimenez, Jennifer Watson, and Cody Thurman. They're the leaders of our organization, and they work every day to bring up other women in our organization. And they've created a lot of opportunities in the trades, which is a fun place to be as a woman, and creating opportunities for women there and our transgender and non-binary teammates as well. So when I was a little girl, my mom had a poster in my bedroom that had this ballerina leaping through the air, and it said, "If you can dream it, you can be it." But I have daughters now, and I think the better message is, if you can see it, you can be it. Because it is really hard to dream about things you have never seen before. And I had never seen a woman CEO. Before I was in real estate, I was in a women's punk band, and I really hadn't seen very many women doing this. And it wasn't until I hung out with my girlfriends in a basement, and I was like, how come we're not doing this? I don't know, never seen girls do it. Well, I bet we could do it. And it's just, sometimes it's just doing it, but you have to see it to do it. And I took this really simple idea into starting a real estate company because I had never questioned the dominant paradigm about homeownership in my mind that I got fed through TVs and stories. I don't know where it came from, but in my head, buying a house was something a woman does after she gets married and has a baby. Well, what do I do if I don't want to get married and I'm not looking to have a baby, but I want financial independence? And so it wasn't until a girlfriend of mine bought a house that I realized, wait a minute, I can do that too. I'm going to do that. And then I thought, well, someone needs to go out and tell all these other people that don't know that they can do this, that they can do it too. And so my mom was like, well, you could get your real estate license, and I think that's a job. So I wound up finding a career and a mission, and then now it's 130 brokers, and we've got a management portfolio of 250 homes and a full maintenance and construction company. We just keep going on with the same simple idea as, let's find people who don't know that they can do it and empower them to do it. So if you come to our website, you'll see that we tell the story of every single home buyer and seller that we help. We don't talk about the houses, because you can go to Zillow or Realtor.com and you can look at all the bedrooms and bathrooms and layouts and pictures that you want. We thought, well, we'll just tell the stories of people, because what we want is for when people come to our website and that they see themselves in the story of a single mom who put herself through school and now she can afford to buy a home and her family's moving in and we're all celebrating. That I just hope that someone sees themselves in that story and sees something for themselves that they didn't think was possible, and that we're earning the trust of our community, that we're going to help them get to where they can go and that they can share their story with us as well. So I feel really incredibly blessed that just this simple aha as a punk rocker in a basement watching my girlfriend do something turned into this amazing fantasy of a job. And I get to do it every day with these incredible women. So I just really, I appreciate, thank you so much, PBA, for having this award, and for all of us here today to recognize that it is really important that we're helping everyone in our community see things for themselves that they don't, and breaking every glass ceiling. And thank you so much for mentioning Kamala Harris and seeing that woman on stage, because I was thinking about all those little girls too. If you can see it, you can see it, you can do it. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Janelle and team, and congratulations again. So now it is time to introduce the Sandra K. McDonough Leadership Award. This award honors an individual who has demonstrated lifelong commitment to women in leadership. Tonight, we honor K.D. Torin, President and CEO of Volunteers of America, Oregon. Before we hear from Kay, I wanted to share with you a few reasons why she is so deserving of this recognition. Quite frankly, when we received all of the submissions this year, I think it was unanimous by the entire group that we all thought, well, how has she not won this already? So our decision was quite easy this year, Kay. For the past 20 years, Kay's led Volunteers of America, Oregon. Her long-term commitment to this statewide nonprofit highlights a lifelong dedication of people and programs designed to improve the lives of children, families, and seniors. Kay grew up in Portland's predominantly African-American community, a daughter of two successful entrepreneurs, Ben and Mary Rose Dean. The Deans, as they are affectionately referred to even today, founded a small business, Dean's Beauty Salon and Barbershop, which still is operated and owned by a member of the family and is the oldest African-American owned business in the state of Oregon. Not only did Kay's parents found their business, but they built the building on a vacant lot, which was a huge accomplishment at the time, given all the restrictions for loaning money to African Americans. During her ascent up the career ladder, Kay has broken the class ceiling in education and in jobs she pursued. From her start as an assistant professor of social work to serving in leadership positions for the state of Oregon. Her peers describe her as someone who takes time to share her experience and share her wisdom. She also is known to remind women in particular that experience can be gained through powerful and authentic networks, a commitment to excellence and self-confidence that comes from within. Her work, her career, has helped other women, ensuring a path forward for opportunity. And for all these reasons and so many more, we're pleased to honor K.D. Torin with this year's Sandra K. McDonough Leadership Award. So please join me in welcoming Kay.
Thank you so much, Jessica, for a very, very generous introduction. One of the things I noticed when I first arrived is that it's a high step for somebody who has short legs. But anyway, good afternoon. And I want to first start by thanking the Portland Business Alliance and the No Ceiling Committee for this award. It's particularly important to me that this award I am receiving in the name of Sandra McDonough. I'm going to tell you two quick stories. One is that front end of my career was working in Salem, Oregon for Governor Victor Attia. Governor Victor Attia, for those of you who are too young to know that name, had the reputation of being the most conservative Republican in the state of Oregon when he was elected governor. Well, his team recruited me to apply for the job of Director of Affirmative Action. My husband said, "You're going to kill your career if you take that job if it's offered to you." And I said, well, there's a reason that they invited me to apply. Long story short, they offered me the job and I took it. There were all of us, now that I know, these young professionals that were working in government. Some of us were Governor Attia. Some of them were lobbyists, Sandra McDonough. Some of them were journalists. And we must have been in our late 20s, but when I think about it, we were taking on policy at the federal level, taking on policy in the state legislature, and really running state government like we were totally in charge. And I think about that as I think about what is in my DNA that makes me believe that I have not only the desire, but an obligation to reach back to try to encourage women, African Americans, people of color, and other members of marginalized groups that they can aspire, that they can be successful in going up that career ladder. Two stories. My parents were very much influential in my life. They always had a can-do attitude. They were part of the Great Migration from the South. They believed there were no barriers that you couldn't figure out a way to get around, driven by integrity, honesty, and their deep religious beliefs. And I'm sure that that's my foundation today. So working for Governor Atiyeh, one of the things that he did for me, and for those of you who don't know him or know about him, he was of Syrian descent, and his family owned the most successful rug business in the state of Oregon. Well, one day he called me to his office, and he said, "Kay, we're going to have a special session. I'm already registered and have paid for the National Governors Meeting in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'd like you to represent me at that meeting." I didn't really think it through, but when he said, "Do you think you want to do it?" it took me 30 seconds to say yes. I love to travel then and now. Anyway, I got first class tickets because that's how the governors in the United States of America travel. So my husband took me to the airport. I flew from Portland to Chicago, first class, in a typical first class compartment. From Chicago to, actually it was Portland, Maine, I said Boston. From Chicago to Portland, Maine, everybody in first class was either a governor or the spouse of a governor. So they look at me and wonder, who is this outlier sitting up here in first class? And so one of the governors said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm the governor of Oregon." And they did just what you did. They laughed, and they really did take me under their wing. So we arrived late because there was an electrical storm in Chicago. We arrived late in Maine. We get to the hotel, and it was the same kind of reaction with those that were at the desk registering everyone. Who is this black woman standing here asking to be registered with the governors? And because I had his suite, I'm on the top floor with the other governors. The security guard was so nervous when I got on that elevator, like, who is this person? It was really kind of funny, but nobody challenged me. The next day, when I went to breakfast, again with all of the governors and their spouses, the governor from Delaware came over, he took my hand, and he said, "Your boss has made sure that I take care of you while you are here." That meant so much to me that I wasn't going to be the only one in this situation. But more importantly than that, I realized that Governor Atiyeh, who was always very intentional, had made a decision that this was an experience that first I could handle. Secondly, that was important for what he was trying to accomplish in the state of Oregon with diversity. And thirdly, that he would make sure I had a support system there so that I'd never gotten into a situation that I could not manage effectively. My parents' experience and that experience has made me know that it's in my DNA, that if you can identify somebody who's willing to accept the challenge, who's willing to do the hard work, who's willing to ask the uncomfortable questions, and who's willing to risk failure, you don't go up that ladder without risking failure and sometimes failing. But as Governor Atiyeh used to always say, a failure is an opportunity to learn, so don't run away from it. Today, I believe we become a better society. We become a better people if those of us who can, reach out and help others move up that ladder. I'm a very optimistic person, and I'm a very hopeful person. We're going through a tough time right now because we're supposed to learn from it. But those of us who have the capacity, those of us who have the love in our heart, to make sure we give every individual an opportunity to do their best, I believe we can get where we need to be as a nation, as a city, and as volunteers of America. So thank you, Portland Business Alliance, for recognizing a nonprofit. We are a major business in this community. I've got 320 employees, a multi-million-dollar budget. I'm just as major as the for-profit sector. Thank you for recognizing that. Thank you for recognizing all the shoulders that I stand on, standing before you today. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Whew. No worries, Andrew. We're all good over here. All right. Well, I don't know about all of you here with me and watching this virtually, but I got chills several times hearing Kay speak and hearing Janelle speak. So ladies, you're phenomenal. Your companies are phenomenal. And The work that you do is so great. You make our city better today. And on behalf of the Portland Business Alliance and everybody, I just want to say thank you. So every year I enjoy going through the nomination process and selection for this event because I do get to see, and the committee gets to see, how many amazing women and companies there are in this city. And as I said in my opening comments, it really is a bright light in this time. And as Kay put it, it's a really hard time and we're meant to learn from it. And I'm going to keep telling myself that every day. Because right now I'm learning first grade and third grade pretty darn well, but I'm going to dig deep to really learn from this experience. So if you all nominated somebody this year, a person or an organization, I recommend that you do it again next year. But for the time being, please join me in congratulating Kay and Living Room Realty and Janelle and her team for all the great work. We raise a glass to you, a virtual one from afar and from my hand. And so congratulations. Thanks for all that you do. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for those that turned out to this event. There is food on either side, just so you know. And I hope we see you in person soon. Have a great night.